So you're here because you're curious, right? You want to grasp something significant, maybe, without spending hours doing all the legwork yourself.
Exactly. And today we're diving into something pretty fascinating. The lasting impact of Tina Turner. I mean, a true icon.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're looking at her legacy through a really interesting modern lens.
We are. It's called Echoes in Gold, a fierce tribute to Tina Turner's legacy. And this isn't your standard tribute album.
No, not at all.
It's 12 original songs plus 3 reinterpretations of her massive hits, all generated using artificial intelligence by JJ and AI.
Right. So our goal today, our deep dive, is really to get under the skin of how this AI project captures that Tina energy. You know, the fire, the pain, the power.
And we'll be digging into the themes that run through it: survival, vulnerability, reclaiming yourself, legacy, all seen through this AI perspective.
And we know you appreciate getting straight to the memorable stuff, the insights that stick. So that's what we're aiming for. No fluff.
Okay, so where should we start? Maybe with that core theme of survival and self-reclamation.
Good idea. Because several tracks jump right out, don't they? Like 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔 or Every Step Is Mine and Unbroken.
Yeah, those ones really hit hard with that idea of finding power through pain.
It's amazing how they frame scars, not just as wounds, but as like symbols of strength, symbols of transformation, which, I mean, that is Tina's story in so many ways.
Absolutely. And what I find really interesting is the emphasis on agency. It's not about, romanticizing the suffering itself.
Right. It's not dwelling on the trauma.
No, it's about the conscious choice, the action of rising above it. And you hear that in the music, too, structurally. A lot of these songs build and build towards this feeling of triumph.
Yeah, they have this upward momentum. It's not just saying, I survived. It's like you're hearing the process of overcoming. It's like a sonic journey.
Exactly. The source material even calls it a kind of sonic survival guide.
Oh, I like that. A sonic survival guide. It feels right. For anyone who's been through it, you can almost feel that climb in the music.
Then the album kind of shifts gears a bit, looking at shedding societal expectations, especially for women.
Yes. Tracks like Done Dancing, Shine On, Let It Show, even These Heels Don't Wait. They feel like anthems.
They really do. And there's this brilliant metaphor used, the recording studio.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, first it's presented almost like a cage, representing those external pressures, what society expects you to be.
Okay, I see. Trapped.
But then it transforms. It becomes a pulpit, a place where you can finally speak your own truth authentically.
Wow. From cage to pulpit. That's powerful. It speaks to anyone who's felt like they had to, I don't know, perform, put on an act for others.
Exactly. The music is basically saying, stop dancing to their tune, find your own rhythm. Your real voice is what matters.
It's liberating.
Which sort of leads into this deeper layer, this subtext about femininity not just being about endurance, but about generative power, creation.
And The Womb Remembers is key here, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely central. That track is something else, especially that spoken word part at the end.
In English and Cherokee, it paints this picture of woman as the origin point, the creator, almost like succeeding the old patriarchal ways through creation itself.
Yes, and using the Cherokee language feels so deliberate. It connects to those whispers about Tina Turner's own heritage, but more than that, it's reclaiming a kind of indigenous feminine wisdom.
Wisdom that often gets pushed aside.
Totally. The album really elevates the feminine image here. It's the priestess, the mother, the warrior, the builder, all rolled into one elemental force.
That's a really potent reframing. Okay, so moving from that primal power, the album also tackles, well, love. But it's complex. Longing, vulnerability.
Yeah, in tracks like Deeper I Fall and My Turn.
Yeah.
But they aren't straightforward love songs, are they?
Definitely not simple.
No. The description used in the source, survival songs wrapped in silk, that's just perfect.
Survival songs wrapped in silk. Wow. Explain that.
Well, there's this beauty, this allure, but underneath, there's tension. Maybe even danger disguised. You get hints of red flags, even amidst the passion.
Which connects so directly to Tina's own life, her experiences with toxic relationships. It's like the album finds a new language for that complex pain.
It really does. And then you get Velvet Claws, which is like the extended finale to My Turn.
Right. What's happening there?
It's this incredible exploration of power dynamics within passion, but from the feminine perspective. She's not just reacting, she's navigating, shaping. The persona is complex. Predator, poet, priestess.
So reclaiming her power even within the intensity of desire.
Exactly. Reclaiming the self from, the wreckage that intense desire can sometimes leave behind, finding strength even there.
It's about resilience again, but in a different context, rebuilding after the fire.
And following that, the album takes us through this journey of emotional chaos towards some kind of clarity, towards recovery.
You hear that in 𝗧𗔔𗔧� and 𝗬𝗓 right? With those gospel and funk vibes.
Yeah, those tracks definitely map that arc. From the sharp pain of betrayal, of deception, towards confronting the truth, you can almost feel the emotional weather change in the music.
And that line in 𝗬𝗓, "Thunder don't cry." What's that about?
Well, it's layered. On one hand, it feels like this raw plea, like, can I just break down? Can I grieve? That need for release.
But there's more to it.
But ultimately, it pivots. It becomes about choosing not to be broken by the storm. It's about the intentional power you can find in tenderness and choosing not to harden completely.
Choosing strength, but not bitterness.
Precisely. Now, another really fascinating aspect is how this AI tribute tackles Tina's actual hits.
Right, the reinterpretations of Bitter Be Good to Me, Proud Mary, and The Best. They're not just covers.
Not at all. The use of different languages, Cherokee again, these phonetic renderings, it's not just a gimmick.
What's the purpose then?
It feels like an attempt to anchor her legacy in something wider, more universal, more culturally diverse. It's about channeling her spiritual DNA, that core resilience, rather than just imitating her sound.
So it's less about sounding like Tina and more about feeling the essence of Tina, but expanded.
Exactly. It's like an inclusive rewriting, bringing her story into dialogue with other traditions, other voices.
Which loops back beautifully to The Womb Remembers, doesn't it?
It really does. That track, Revisited, lifts the whole album. It frames matriarchy not just as a social concept, but as this fundamental, almost cosmic truth. And that line, that line.
Which one?
I was never their storm, I was the sky.
Wow. Okay, that just reframes everything. Power isn't just disruption, it's the space that holds it all.
Right. It speaks volumes about inheritance, about what we pass on. The album even mentions daughters and sons who are ready to inherit more than pain.
So it's explicitly looking towards the future, towards healing.
Yes. It's a message of possibility, of hope, and it's carried through this music that's, shaped by AI, but feels so deeply human, so emotionally resonant.
It's about keeping the stories alive, amplifying them for a new generation, not just repeating them by rote.
It's connection and reinterpretation, not just imitation.
So wrapping this all up, Echoes in Gold. It really feels like more than just a tribute album. It's like a sonic scripture for survival.
Yeah, I think that fits. And a reckoning with love, with vulnerability, and this powerful resurrection of the feminine divine, maybe.
Definitely themes of rebirth, resilience, legacy, all woven together.
And the way it uses AI, not just as a tool, but as a collaborator to blend Tina's spirit with something genuinely new, it's quite something.
It really is. And for you listening, maybe think about how these ideas, resilience, finding your voice, reclaiming your narrative, how they echo in your own life.
Yeah, it shows how even stories we think we know well can be seen in a new light, can offer fresh meaning.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
This whole project, Echoes in Gold, using AI to channel this iconic voice. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of that story, Mavely Thorne and TATANKA's Orchestra Americana.
Oh, interesting connection. How so?
Well, it's about how technology, sometimes in unexpected ways, can give new platforms to voices or stories that might have been overlooked or couldn't find traditional paths. It suggests maybe the future of art, maybe even justice, lies in these surprising intersections.
So the question becomes, where else is that thunder? Those powerful unheard stories just waiting for the right channel, the right technology maybe, to be discovered and amplified.
Exactly. Something to think about.